Hey everybody, Steve Q here, and Monday morning kickoff time. So, what is your plan for the week? I have just been here in Dubai to run a little bit of a sales meeting for a real estate company here and to contribute to their Monday morning meeting. And there's two things that sort of came up in the meeting that I thought I'd address because they were relevant to what people were saying, to what the sales staff were saying. And one of them is actually believing that your prospects or that the deal that you're working on will actually come to fruition. Because what we tend to focus our belief on, what we tend to focus on tends to expand, tends to come into or manifest into our own reality. And it's easy to be cynical, isn't it? It's easy to think that somebody's yanking our chain. It's easy to think, well, you know, the last 4 people who said they were going to buy didn't buy. They just led me a merry dance up the garden path, as the saying goes. But I honestly think that we should believe every single person is going to buy, and that they're a serious prospect. They have the desire and they have the ability until they prove us otherwise. Until they prove us otherwise, yeah? Just believe, have that faith and that belief in human nature, and that the whole process is gonna work for you. Because if it can work for other people and they can be super successful in sales, guess what? It can work for you as well. Faith is the ability, or the faculty, should I say. So faith is one of your higher faculties, and your faith is very closely linked to your imagination. And faith is the faculty of actually being able to believe in a result as if it had actually manifested, as if it had actually happened when it hasn't happened. And that's a little bit difficult for many of us to actually grasp, isn't it? Because we are attuned, we are educated to live life through the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. And if it doesn't fit one of those, then it doesn't exist. But my friends, there is a saying that there is more in heaven and earth, yeah? So, I mean, if you look at behind me, the buildings here, in fact, if you go down the road to the Burj Khalifa, and if you go to the viewing point there, they've got a very clever telescope. You can look at everything as it is, or you can look at it you can press a button and it'll go to the night view, as if you were looking out on the city at night. But it also goes to a view of 20-some years ago, when you look out along the Sheikh Zayed Road and all the stuff that's going on here, all the construction wasn't there. It was just desert and smaller buildings, yeah? All of that started in somebody's imagination. All of this started in somebody's imagination. Somebody with a clear vision, and then somebody who was prepared to act on that vision to bring it into reality, okay? So that is faith, being able to see your vision, visualize your people buying, visualize them saying yes, visualize the transaction going through, and visualize writing out your invoice for your commission and receiving that money into your bank. Because right now, that money's there. That money is in what I call your abundance account. So you've probably got a savings account, you've probably got a current account, or a checking account for our friends in North America. But you've also got this thing called an abundance account. So this is a bank account, a magical bank account, which exists out there in the 4th dimension. How much is in yours? You know, there's no limit. Bob Proctor used to say, all the knowledge and all the money there ever has been, is now, and ever will be, is omnipresent all at the same time. Now, people who live through 5 sensory data would say that that is a load of nonsense, a load of horseshit, a load of baloney, yeah? But it isn't, because if people who have that kind of attitude towards life when somebody talks about creating something like this behind me, that's in the desert, that's been desert for just thousands of years, someone who with no vision or who only exists through 5th century data would say, well, how are you going to do that? It's always been, it's impossible. That's those people, that's not you, I hope, yeah? So be really, really aware not to share your dreams with dream stealers, with people who are going to put you down. I think that's kind of the message here, in a way. And the other thing these guys were talking about was the faculty of following up. Did you know that so many sales go to your competitors or don't happen at all because we don't follow up enough? And I know there's all this sort of thing out there with a lot of people nowadays that, they say, oh, just leave them to make their own mind up. Sorry, that doesn't work. It doesn't work in the real world of sales. You need to maintain contact. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. You need to maintain contact. And by the way, I'm not talking about press ganging people or conning or cajoling them into something that they don't want to do. I'm talking about real prospects with real problems that we're here to solve through service or the service of sales, yeah? So maintaining contact, following up, stay in front of people's mind is a key thing. And a lot of words that are missed out today: influencing people, encouraging people to take action where they wouldn't take action otherwise, or where they might be prone to procrastination, and persuading people once you know them. These are old school skills and strategies that need to be at the front of our minds and on the tip of our tongue all the time if we're professional salespeople. Yeah, and that's the thing. I honestly believe that maybe 90% of people who are in sales shouldn't be in sales. They got the job either because they've got a pulse and the employers couldn't find anybody else, so we'll take you. And their own attitude is, I've got a sales job until a quote unquote proper job comes along, and then I'll do that. One with no pressure, and they actually don't realize the whole ethos of being in sales. So make sure you follow up. I heard Brian Tracy years ago, and if you're not familiar with who Brian Tracy is, check him out. The guy's a genius. He's in his 80s now, but he's one of the quintessential sales coaches from the 70s and 80s. And this man is so wise. And he said, if you want to be successful in sales, you do 3 things. You prospect, you present, and you follow up. And you follow up again, 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 until the prospect tells you, don't contact me anymore. I've bought it somewhere else. I've changed my mind. I'm not interested. I hate you. Leave me alone. Yeah? How do you mean exactly? You get the idea. Follow up. It's only a few weeks ago I went to look at a 25 grand motorcycle. It took the salesman, and I'd arranged to do it as well with him. So I wasn't just an ad hoc walk-in. I'd called up, I'd demonstrated interest, I'd demonstrated my ability to buy, the money, and the trade-in bike. It took the guy 4 days to just give me a little phone call. Oh, hi, Steve. Have you thought any more about the bike? Not, hey, how we do it? No, positive. Do you want to come along and ride the bike? Do you want to come along and see it again? Let me see if I can do better on the trade-in figures for your, all of that. None of that. And I never heard from him again. If I were his boss and I saw that type of behavior happening or not happening, I would fire him. I'd either train him to do it, and if he didn't do it, I would fire him. You have to follow up, guys. It's where 90% of the magic happens, in the follow-up. And you know what? Not too many people are doing it assertively nowadays. So you don't have to be that bright. With the utmost love and respect, you don't need to be that bright nowadays to shine like a star in sales. I'm Steve Q. Remember, nothing happens anywhere without a sale of some sort first being made, and I'll see you on the next video.